Hello friends, how are you doing? I hope you're doing very well and you've had a great week so far. Today's lecture is a very exciting one, and I hope you share my excitement by the time we get finished with it. So let's get started. So today's lecture is on trading psychology. Psychology is a very important topic, not just in trading but in life generally. And you would have heard many times in trading the importance of psychology. It is even commonly said that psychology makes up about 80% of everything trading, and I agree with that because at the end of the day, even with all your technical knowledge and skills and analytical knowledge, if you're not in the right place of mind, you're not going to make any money from this market, and if you do, you lose it. So psychology is a very, 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 very important topic. It will not stay as a topic for long. It will end up being a way of life that you would have to develop. It's not just going to, it's not an intellectual thing. It's not just by knowing it. You can know that you should be patient, but somehow you're just not. And if you remember some previous lectures back, I kept hammering on the topic of self-awareness, and self-awareness ties very particularly to psychology because you need to understand yourself. You need to be able to catch yourself thinking. You need to be able to catch your thoughts and your emotions and your impulses and your action. And this is all that psychology is about. You will never master psychology. You will keep learning psychology until the end of days. You're never going to be a master of it. The dimensions and the ways which life and trading can get to you and can impact your emotions is diverse, is a lot. It's multidimensional. In fact, you cannot really know where it will attack you from, but you just need to know yourself and understand yourself. That's the most important thing. Self-awareness conquers all. Once you understand yourself and how you react to different situations, you are way ahead of getting your psychology in place. So psychology is all about mastering your mind before you master the market. In fact, if you master the market and not your mind, you're not you're still not going to succeed. You need to master your mind as you master the market. So in trading, your biggest opponent is in the market, it is yourself. While the market is complex and extremely dynamic, you can't really know what is going to happen next. The most important or the most dynamic thing is your mind. However, you can direct your mind. There is some certain level of control you have over your mind that you don't have over the market, which makes it at least more in control than the market. Charts, strategies, and indicators are only tools. Your mindset determines whether you use them efficiently or self sabotage. So, yeah, it is said that trading is 80% psychology and 20% strategy. It's something like that. It's very close to that. Strategy makes up something. There's also risk management. There is patience. So most of everything you do would be based on how you think and how you feel, and not really too much of knowledge or skills. You can have the perfect system, but without emotional discipline, you will still lose. What is trading psychology? So, trading psychology refers to the thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that influence trading decisions. So, this shapes how you handle risk, how you respond to losses or wins, how disciplined or impulsive you are. A trader with poor psychology can lose a winning system. A trader with a strong psychology can win with a simple one. So psychology is the aspect of an individual's character and behaviors that influences their investing actions. The core emotions in trading. Number one is fear. So fear appears when you hesitate to enter a value trade. You've seen everything, you've marked out, you've followed your plan, but you're still scared. Maybe because you're scared of losing some profit, or you're just scared of losses. Another appearance of fear is closing your trades too early to lock in small profits. So in this, you make some profits, but you're scared. You just want to take your money and go. You're not sure if you'll be able to make much more profit. That's that's a characteristic of fear. Another one is you avoid the market after a loss. One of the effects of fear is that it prevents opportunity. Because of fear, you end up not taking opportunities you should take. You end up not maximizing opportunities you've already taken, and this just limits your profitability in the market overall. So the solution to this is to focus on the process over the outcome. Trade your plan, not your feelings. So you need to have a process, you need to have a plan, you need to understand the rules, you set in place for yourself. You need to and you need to follow this, because this is the only thing you can control. You can't control the market, but you can control what you do and how you do it. So when you have a plan and you make it systematic, people generally talk about becoming a very systematic trader as opposed to being discretionary. Discretionary trading is when you trade according to what is currently presenting itself and all of that. Systematic trading is when you follow rules that you've set. So, albeit we are human, so we cannot ever be completely systematic. So, what people advise is that be as systematic as you can, but sometimes you can just effect some discretion to your trading. Another core emotion in trading is greed. So greed shows up when you increase your lot size suddenly after a win. You ignore your plan, chasing just a little more. You overtrade. You want to turn $100 into $1,000 overnight. So greed is self-explanatory. Greed is trying to make more and more and more and more. You're never satisfied. You have a plan, but your plan is to make $300 a month or $300 a week, and then it goes good for you. Maybe you make 350 and you're like, man, I can keep doing this, and you want to make 1,000. So that's greed is also very dangerous. You must learn how to balance greed in the market, because not having greed also can be self-sabotaging. So you must understand how to balance it, not going overboard. So the effect of greed is that it leads to exposure and burnout. Yes, because it stresses you when you're trying to make so much more. Sometimes you want to make more and then you're losing what you have, and it's just a whole lot of scenarios. So greed does lead to burnout, and the solution is to accept that trading is a probabilistic game. So it's a probability game, and because it's based on probability, there is only so much you can predict per time, and you have to rely on large numbers, on the law of large numbers. So on one single trade, and that's the problem with greed. You try to effect your greed on a single trade or a single position. However, one single position cannot ever fulfill your desires. It has to be over a large sample set. So trading is not jackpot based, it is probability based. Another core emotion of trading is hope. So this is a business, this is trading, this is not a prayer session, and hope keeps you in your losing trade because you wish they will reverse, and you ignore your stop loss and tell yourself it will come back. When you begin to catch yourself praying and saying, I know it can happen, once you begin to be too hopeful, especially in a losing trade, it's a good time to step out. So in hope, you ignore your stop loss and tell yourself it to come back. The effect of this is that you can turn small losses into big ones. It is hope that makes traders, you're taking a loss, you already have a stop loss of $50, you increase it to 80, 100, 150. That's hope, because you're hoping it turns back. There's no strategy behind that, really, because the strategy behind your trading was on the stop loss that you placed, on the amounts that you decided to lose. So why are you increasing your losses? Why are you extending your stop loss if it is not being hopeful that it will turn back? So yeah, sometimes it could turn back, but look, the markets can really, again, you can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent, and it is just best to follow your plan. So the solution to this is to replace hope with structure. Once your stop loss is, accept, learn, and move on. It is only a part of a sample set. One trade does not decide or determine your level of expertise. Another emotion in trading is revenge. So revenge is after you take a losing trade and you feel the urge to win it back immediately, without any plan, without any analysis, without any structure. That is revenge trading. So you open another trade impulsively, usually a larger one. The effect of this is that you go on an emotional trading spiral, and this would eventually lead to more losses and bigger losses. It is very dangerous to try to revenge the market. Revenging the market is like if a knife cuts you and then you grab it by your hand and you want to throw it away. If a knife cuts you by accident,
It's not really wise to grab the knife, or maybe you want to now break the knife. No, no, no. You end up hurting yourself even more. So that's what revenge trading is. So the solution is to step away from the chart after a loss. You breathe, you journal your emotions before trading again. You take a break, you relax. One very powerful thing to do is to do something physical. It could be push-ups, it could be a walk. Just leave the chat and let that emotions, because emotions reflect to our physical bodies. And the moment you can let an emotion out, however, it could be taking a walk. Some people take showers, some people meditate. You can do push-ups, and once you do that, you just realize you have control over yourself again, and you don't let the emotion burst out into your trading. So let's talk about the mindset of a consistent trader. So one is a consistent trader will focus on the process over the outcome. You can't really keep your mind on the amount of money you're going to make. You must avoid that at all costs. Yes, that is the goal of trading, but the only way you really achieve it is by not thinking about it. It's by focusing on the process. What do I have to do today, tomorrow? What's the process? How do I journal? How do I track? How do I measure? That is what you must focus on, and eventually the money will come flowing by itself. Successful traders don't aim to win every trade, they aim to execute every plan correctly. So it's because you cannot control outcomes, but you can control your actions. Another mindset of a constant trader is discipline. So discipline is sticking to your plan even when emotions scream otherwise. So it's closing your laptop when the day is done, and it's not trading because of boredom. So discipline is just doing what you should do. So I I think a way to capture this is know what you should do and just do that. Don't do beyond that. Don't do less than that. Know what you should do and just do that, and do your best every time. Patience is another mindset, another attitude that you must have. And this is the real edge in trading. Trading is all about patience. Trading is a waiting game. The moment you learn how to wait, you have won in trading. The moment you just learn how to wait, the moment you identify your strategy and all of that, and you know how to wait for it, your just being able to wait increases your profitability by almost 100%. In fact, it doubles everything you do. So again, patience is the real edge in trading. So waiting for high probability setups, letting your trades play out, and allowing your system time to show. So if you observe, patience exhibits itself in multiple dimensions. One is in waiting for the setup. So you're not yet in a trade, you're waiting for your setup. So that's the patience in waiting for your setup. Now, after you enter a trade, you must have the patience to let the trade run. You must not be impulsive, close it quickly out of fear or greed or anything like that. You must have the patience to hold it to profit. Now, you must also allow yourself the patience to wait over a large period of time for your system's result to show. Right? You must allow the patience for your system result. So if you observe, patience helps you avoid fear, avoid greed, and avoid a lot of emotional imbalances in trading. So detachment is another very important mindset that you must have. You can't really put your mind on it. It is like many things in life, such that if you are too focused on it, too attached, you end up losing it. Have a easy or a peaceful relationship with life. You can't hold on to everything. It's like your breath. If you hold on to your breath, you will lose it. And if you let go of your breath, you will gain it. So you must be slightly detached from the market. So detach emotionally from each trade. See trading as a series of events governed by probability, not personal worth. So common psychological traps that you must avoid. One is overconfidence. So this is when you take a winning streak and then you begin to increase your lot size and then oversize your trades. This is terrible. So imagine risking 10% because you just won 3 trades. It is irrational. Confirmation bias is another one, and this is ignoring data that agrees with your analysis. Sometimes it is not your setup, but you just want to take the trade. So you are ignoring everything that tells you it isn't. You're just finding something to confirm your emotions. And so confirmation bias is something you must really avoid. The moment you are convincing yourself and you are going to other time frames and you're looking for other people's analysis to just confirm something, even when your system does not say so, that's confirmation bias and you must avoid it. So this is like holding a buy trade setup despite the bearish signal from your system. So loss aversion is another trap that you must avoid, which is avoiding necessary losses, moving stop loss further. Again, remember, hope is it's evident in loss aversion. You want to avoid the losses at all costs. So you are hopeful that it will come back. Impulse trading is another one, which is trading without a plan, jumping in after seeing a big candle and just being irrational. So these are some common psychological traps you must avoid. There's many of them, and self-awareness again will teach you about it. It's not the same thing for everybody. Some people are naturally patient. Some people are naturally careful, so they can manage it. Some you will just have to find yours. There is no one size fits all for this scenario. So how do you build emotional control? First way is to create a trading routine. You must have a structure around it. If you don't structure your life, it's either somebody else structures life for you or you end up living life haphazardly and just in any direction that the wind flows. So an example of building structure is you analyze the markets in the morning, you trade 2 to 3 value setups in the afternoon, and then you do a review in the evening. You just have a way you approach the market, and you don't do more than that. You only if you decide you only trade in the afternoon, you don't trade in the morning because you saw a setup. You just follow your structure and wait for your rules to play out. So another thing you can do is to keep a trading journal. This is very important. You must track your trading so that you can measure, adjust, refine. It is very important. In fact, in your learning stages, I would say this is the most important thing that you must do. You can never go wrong journaling, and journaling of itself would cut down your trading journey by almost 50%. In fact, journaling is the only way you can truly replace a mentor. Having a mentor is very important in trading. Very, very, very important. However, assume you are not going through a mentor and you don't want to learn to anybody. By journaling, you will cut half that time because you have all the feedback and you can reiterate, adjust, and correct mistakes as they happen. So you must track your entry, your exit, your stop loss, the reason for the trade, the emotions before you enter, and over time, the patterns in behavior as they become visible. So if you observe, there is the trade journaling and there's also the psychological emotional journaling. However, again, like every other thing, you will know what works for you. You will know what you should journal. There are static things you must journal, like your entry and your exit and the how much you risk per trade and all of that. When it comes to the emotional journaling, how you felt and all that, you would know what to track. Sometimes you may track how you felt in a loss, how you felt in between the trade. So many dimensions to it. So again, you have to do your research, find what works best for you, or just stick to the ones that impact you the most, and just keep building from there. So another thing you can do is to use a pre-trade checklist. So before every trade, you ask yourself, does it fit my trading plan? Am I trading out of boredom or emotion? Is my risk defined? So you need to have a checklist. This also fits into a routine and a trading journal. Everything here is fitting into your trading plan, a protocol, as some people will call it. The set of things that you would do exactly for yourself. Some physical practice. Some people do an exercise. Some people meditate. And a trading checklist. Okay, what am I looking for? This and that. The time you sit on the chart. Everything. You need to have a structure, and you need to treat this as a business. A business. That you need to get to work at this particular time. You leave at this particular time. When you get to work, these are the tasks that you must do. So you need to structure that in your trading. It's very important that you know this and understand and accept this now, because if you don't and you think, well, I can just treat this like a game and it's easy, I'm not supposed to be stressing like this because that's the only reason why I'm trading, so I don't stress. Well, you will come back here. You will just waste months and years even, and you will come back to journaling and tracking, and so don't waste your time. Just start now and just do it. It's hard, it's difficult, just do it. So another thing is to practice mindfulness. So a calm mind sees the market clearly. There is no substitute for a calm mind. If your mind is calm, you can conquer all things. So for instance, breathing, meditation, or short breaks after losses help reduce impulsivity. So some people even take retreats. You trade for 3 months and then you go for a week somewhere, you're not even looking at the charts, and just calm your mind. Trading can really, really rile you up. You can get serious burnout from trading. You can really get stressed from trading. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. But eventually, it will be a thing of ease. It will be a thing that comes naturally to you. But as you're progressing, as you're learning, as you're studying, there's so much you actually have to do until it becomes natural. So, don't get burnt out. It'll be natural that you get stressed in the beginning, but don't get burnt out. Relax, refresh, and be mindful. So how can you program your mind for success? Trading exposes deeper traits about you. Trading is a psychological mindset. You can't lie to yourself. You will know that you're an impatient person. You will know that you're an angry person. You will know that you're egotistic. There is no hiding from it. And even though other people will not see, you will know. The market will expose you, because your impulsiveness, your reaction to the market is going to be your character. Is your characters that will impact how you trade. You will know, like, why am I doing this? You will keep asking yourself these questions, and then it starts popping up. I'm impatient. I have ego. Some people don't even want to make money from the market. They just want to be right. They don't care about making money. I mean, they do want to make money, but they are more particular about other people knowing that they can trade, or so these things are very important for you to search out quickly and expunge from yourself. So self-doubt is another one. So in what I'm trying to tell you is that trading will force you to self-develop. By all means, the self-development you are running for, you will find it in trading, by all means. So to grow as a trader, you must grow as a person. One, you must cultivate habits like reading books on trading mindset. One that is very powerful is Trading in the Zone and The Disciplined Trader, both by Mark Douglas. Another one is you must learn to journal emotions daily. At first, you may not write it down or anything like that, but you may go through a mental review of your emotions throughout the day. How did I react to this? How did I react to that? It's very important. So you must focus on small improvements, the Kaizen method. Every day you're trying to improve by 1%. 1% better every day is exponential returns after a year, after a month. So you must also learn to get feedback. You must be a feedback searching person. You must review both your winning and your losing trades objectively. So that is, you must not be impartial or fool yourself around. You must review like you're reviewing another person's work, and you must be very strict and very serious with your review and be truthful to yourself. So trading success is not about fighting emotions, but understanding and mastering them. So you can't really fight your emotions. The part of you is the truth. Emotions are the truth. How you feel in a certain situation is the truth of how you feel in that situation. How you feel about a person is the truth of how you feel about that person. How you have come to that feeling is a completely different topic. It's so much years and years and years of pattern programming, but that's not what we're about here. What we're about is identifying and being aware of it, and then being able to control it. Right now, I feel like this, and this is what this emotion will impact. This is how this emotion will impact in my trading. This is how it will trigger. This is what it will cause. And this particular action is not going to help me follow my plan. This particular action will negate me from doing the right thing in the market at this point, according to my structure, my routine, my protocol. Once you identify that, you then can take action, because while emotions are truth, while emotions are everything, there's will. We have will. There is will. We can decide to or not to. And that's what makes us human. There is this common saying that everything in a human being is in a horse. The only thing that makes us different is that we have the will to choose. So we have will. So the moment you are able to identify, and what you observe, you can actually direct. So the moment you learn to observe, which is why self-awareness is very important. I'm going on a rant here because this is very, very important. The moment you learn to observe your emotions, you are beginning to have power over them. And it is your will, because it's not always going to be easy. It is your will that you will use to direct your actions. I have these things you would internally you'll be having this dialogue within yourself, like, oh my god, it's almost coming to my break even. This is crazy. I need the profit. I should close now. And then you catch yourself. Oh, you want to close? Are you scared? But you need to follow the plan. You need to follow the plan. It's part of it. Even if it stops you out, didn't you accept the risk before you took it? So this is the way it happens. And internal dialogue keeps going on, and then you realize, oh, I am scared. So what should I do now? Should I leave the market? Should I leave the chat for 10 minutes? Should I do this? Should I do that? And the moment you begin to internalize these things, and that's why knowledge is very important, because after you've caught yourself, after you've caught your emotions, what do? That is why you need knowledge. That's why you need to learn and read and study, because the things you study will make up the knowledge that you have, and the knowledge that you have will direct your actions and your decisions. So it's extremely important to know things. It is ridiculously important to know things, so that in the moment of despair you will know what to do. Even when your emotions take place, you can internally decide, okay, I should do this now, let me step away. If you've never heard or read or heard anything about doing a push-up, you won't know to do that, but when you've heard about it, you can do 20-30 push-ups, 10 push-ups if you if you can do more than that, and it has a direct impact. But if push-ups don't work for you, you may be the kind of person that will take a shower, but if you don't know that there is a list of things that you could do, you probably will end up letting your emotions win. So really, that is it about psychology. You really need to be self-aware, catch yourself, and you would never, again, I repeat, you will never master your emotions. You will never be able to control them perfectly. You would simply be able to direct them and influence them according to your will. So don't search for a point where you're not feeling emotions or anything. No, it's not going to happen. You would always feel it. 50 years into this business, you will feel emotions. So you will never get to that point where you're king of your emotions. No, but you would be able to identify them and take action. The action does not necessarily mean you will kill the emotions. The action may be you are still feeling the emotion, but you are just doing something else. You are affecting the impulsiveness in another thing that is not the market. That's why it is you see some men after a busy day at work, after a stressful day, they go into the gym. Gymming is also very powerful. They go into the gym. Some people like to box. Martial arts is a very martial arts, especially for men, is a very powerful way of letting loose of negative emotions, regardless of where you get the negative emotions from. Taking a loss builds up negative emotions. So if you're the kind of person, you take a loss, you feel bad, you just go to the gym and lift some weights. That helps. Again, some people take showers, some people take long walks, some people like to call their friends and just rant. So all of these things are very important for you to understand. Again, I am hammering on these things because they are important. They are very. This is it. Every other thing we spoke about is layer. Is just the layer. This is the foundation. Your psychology is the foundation of all the success you will find in trading. Learn from. Combine the knowledge of Jesse Livermore, Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett, combine all of their knowledge and deposit it in your brain. If you do not have the right psychology, you will not find success. Period. If you do not have the right psychology, I did not say you will not make money. You can make money, but you will not find success because you will lose that money, you will make mistakes, and you will end up blowing up. So this is a very important topic. You should be able to tell from how I am speaking about it that it is very pertinent to me. It is very important to me that you get this, you understand this. This is it. Trading psychology is what it is. That is it. That is all. You must learn to master your psychology, and you can master your psychology outside of the chart. You can start doing hard things. Start catching yourself when somebody does something to you, say something to you, your spouse, your friend, your sister, your siblings, your parents. Start catching yourself. How do I feel now? You want to react, you want to speak, but catch yourself. Stop. Some people are physical. You want to lift your hands, but catch yourself. I shouldn't do this. Stop. Look, guys, trading is a self-reflective business. And if you're not ready to get exposed to the nature of yourself, if you're not ready to get to the truth of who you are, don't even start this business. If you're not ready to accept the reality of your personality, if you want to keep fooling yourself and say, oh, this is not who I am, while you know this is who you are, don't even start. Don't even get started. Don't just watch this video, enjoy it, take it as entertainment, and forget about trading. So again, you can tell that I am very, very, very emotional about this myself, because I want you to get this. I'm passing this message with a lot of emotions because I want you to get this. Focus on your mind, focus on your psychology, become the kind of person that can handle different situations, that can handle different scenarios. Don't be the kind of person that is too impulsive, that reacts, that gets angry, that shouts. You must master your emotions. I'll end it there. So again, the market rewards your discipline, not your emotion. Control your mind and control your results. Very, very important. So guys, that will bring us to the end of trading psychology. Again, psychology is all about your mind, your emotions, and how you handle it. You may not necessarily learn how to handle or you control your emotions perfectly, but you can control what you do when you are aware of them, which is why self-awareness is important. How do you build self-awareness? One way is to be mindful. Just relax and listen to your thoughts. Just sit down alone without nothing, without music, and just sit down. Most people we run away from boredom. Don't. You need to master boredom. There's one thing you must master is boredom. You must be able to sit down alone on the mountain top, on the mountain top, without doing anything. Just listening to the sounds of the wind, the clouds, rocks falling. Just listening and observing and just being there, not distracting yourself with any external entertainment. It's very important. So again, I know I have overshot on this one, and I hope you get it. I hope you get it as I want you to. um and I wish you the best, really. I really wish you the best. Another point I would like to key on is you must also run away from social pressure. You must know the difference between pressure and motivation. So you must also run away from being envious of people and seeing other people's success and trying to imitate them. You must run away from all of those things, because those things mix up your emotions and damage your psychology. So that's another thing you must be very aware of. You must be aware of yourself. You must learn to be aware of your thoughts and your emotions, and you should have the will, enough will. If you have the desire to succeed in this business, you must have the will to take action, enough action to do the right things according to your plan and your routine and your structure. So again, trading will generally make you a better person. The moment you become a trader, there's so many things will change about you. You become more intelligent. I can't promise you success in trading. I can't promise you success in trading, but I'll promise you intelligence. I promise you self-awareness. I promise you self-discipline. I promise you self-control, and I promise you a calm mind. Is guaranteed. Even if you don't end up finding success in trading, at the end of the day, all of these things you will have. By all means, you will have, because that you are continually working on yourself. It is a guarantee that you find all of these things I mentioned. So guys, I will bring it to a landing here. I know this one was a little bit overboard, but it is important. This is almost the most important topic in trading, because at the end of the day, your strategy is very important as well, because there is a way trading psychology and strategy are interwoven. However, even after you can learn strategy in 3 months, but it'll take you years to even come close to being aware of your psychology and your emotions. So I'll bring it to a landing here. I hope you have questions. Please, if you do, reach out to me, shoot them to me. If you know anybody who is already trading and who is having issues with their emotions or their psychology, you can send them this video or ask them to reach out to me as well. I'm more than willing to help. It's a privilege to be able to pass this message to people and teach what I know. It's a privilege. I don't take it for granted. So anyways, if you have any questions, any ideas, shoot them to me. I'll be here to answer your questions and make things work together. So guys, until the next lecture, I wish you all peace and good luck.